It's Saturday, February 23rd, and I'm going to give you guys a recap of the portfolio of what's happened, what I think is going to happen in the short term, and what I plan on doing about it. So, first off, we are at an all-time high with this portfolio. We got to go to a million, so I got to get used to saying new all-time high all the time, hopefully, if everything works out by plan. This is the days chart, it's just Ethereum, but if you look at the week here, this is what the performance of the weeks look like. I'm bouncing off really nicely off of that $50,000 level. I'm now at 51,782 and 36 cents. I had a really nice Friday. So the biggest reason for all these upticks is, well, one, Apple had a really nice day. I have 100 shares of Apple, and they gave me $171 just from today's percent and change update. EXK, actually, all of the miners were up quite a bit. EXK was up at $2.62 at one point intraday, and actually sold a couple hundred there shares to lessen my position. You'll see over here. I'll show you. As you can see, I sold 200 shares at 260, and yesterday or the other day at February 20th, I also sold another 200 at 258 because it's now reaching that point where it's that up leg stage of silver miners that I'm trying to profit from. And I still have plenty of EXK. As you can see, I started on February 19th, where I exited 200 shares at 246, then 258, and now at 260. So I'm trying to trim my position. It's now sitting at 250. Trying to slowly exit this uptrend in EXK. I'm hoping that it goes up even higher, as high as 30, retest these highs at least here, at which point I'll probably exit all of my position and I have $4,000 left in it, even after all these sales. My average entry price is 228, as you can see over here. So that's about EXK. What else caused me to go up? I have a ton of money right now in short-term treasuries. 21,837. I might talk about that later as why that is. Spotify went up a percent and 0.8, which is really nice. This is my average entry price. It's now had a really nice couple months bouncing off of that December low, December 21st low, pretty nicely. So for 1 month, it's up 15%. Today, it gained me only $30, but it's not that big. I only have 10 shares. Emerging market fund has been doing well, and these are just dividend funds. This is the real estate monthly payment dividend fund. C-SPAN did okay, but as you can see, there's a lot of green. In fact, there's no red up until you get to uh, energy fuels. Only this and the market short that I actually entered as a hedge, as an insurance hedge for the market dropping, which it doesn't seem to be doing. But this is only down 0.33, so you can see the entire portfolio is green. Entire portfolio is green, albeit not that much. Um, what I've done here is wheat and precious metals. I've sold a $23 call for 20 bucks. It's going to expire on my birthday of March 8th. So hopefully that's 23 bucks that I get to collect. And if not, it's going to be more, right? So 23 dollars. So this would have to appreciate for me to sell at $23, another 61 cents or so per share times 100. You can do the math. $61 extra. So, but I'm trying to trim those positions now. I've already sold a bit of wheat and precious metals at a bit of a lower price at 22, I believe. So I'm trying to slowly exit You can see that right here. So I purchased SH as an insurance from the market falling, and it hasn't done that yet. And I wonder when it will, but I've already lost $19 because of that. However, all the losses from that short are offset by my gains in other areas like silver and Apple, etc. Not too upset about it. I'm gonna use this funds to just rebuy into the market again, anyways, once it drops enough, or even just a little bit. I want to re-roll it into some stocks. Obviously, in retrospect, I wish I hadn't sold Platinum or Alibaba, which are up 2.45 and 3.06 respectively today. I would have gained quite a bit. That's $5 per share, and I had 10 of those, so $50 extra I'm missing out. And Platinum, I had a big position on Platinum at $7,000 in Platinum, and I made a profit on that trade, but I would have obviously made a lot more profit. Another maybe $200. So, but that's all right. Can't win them all. I'm not that familiar with the Platinum market, but what I do know is that the platinum palladium ratio is a bit stretched out, and a very popular trade right now is laying on the short palladium and long platinum. So if you guys want to play that, make sure that you are not taking advice from me, but do your own research. And this is not investment advice, just kind of things that I'm thinking about and what I'm doing. Now, what is happening in the market? So if we go over to SPY, a lot of prominent investors and very smart people were saying, this is the top of the trading range, and it still might be. It's not a smart thing to do to enter here. The market is going to be rolling over, but it just doesn't seem to be doing that. There's a lot of levels that this market seems to be breaking on the upside, and it might be heading for a new record all-time high. Um, we still got good news in the horizons. I don't think the trade deals ever really had that much impact. I think it's more of a function of how much money is slushing around there in the system. And one of the major events that happened is the quote unquote Fed um, about face, or the policy shifts. The switch from abrupt switch from being very hawkish to very dovish. Um, It's called the quote unquote pivot, the Fed pivot, and it's really given confidence to investors that rates are going to be staying lower for longer, that, the Fed's got your back kind of a thing, where if something bad seems to happen, it will always just lower rates, or we'll switch our stance to be more dovish and more easy and more accommodative. And so I think that has given the market confidence to lay it back into stocks. And we can see that from this January move. Now, I think there's a really good chance that this continues. Obviously, nowadays markets are trading so much more in emotion rather than actual facts or earning. The economic data has been coming out kind of mixed. Some things are positive, a lot of things are negative, but it's nothing really to hang your hat on. And investors, I believe, have a lot more cash to put to work. I've talked to some high net worth individuals, and that play around with the markets a lot, and they're just sitting more than 50% on cash, right? They've got a lot waiting on the sidelines still, ready to go in when opportunity arises. And I think this is part of what happened in last December. A lot of people, especially with the Fed response, it, many of those investors started to put money to work. A lot of other investors, they're going to wait until the market actually, breaks through this all-time high in order to put more money to work, because that would be an identification, um, it would be an indication that the bull market is ready to resume. And this would be a very short bear market here from, September to December to New Year's Eve is when it ended. So a very short bear market, and now another bull market set to go. Just like we saw similarly here, you know, and what was it? July 2015 to February 2016, right? A very short bear market, if you want to even call it that. People call it correction. And then a boom, a huge rally up all the way in September 21st over here in this chart, clearly visible in 2018. I don't know the exact dates, but I want to stay on the Robinhood side. I know there are better charts out there. So I think there's a even higher likelihood that the bull market continues just because of the amount of money out there. If there is something that scares people though, this market is obviously really overvalued from historical perspectives. And if there's anything that forces, not forces, but gives the idea to investors to um, revert back to the mean and step into reality, then with no doubt there's a lot of air into these stocks, and we don't know how far it's going to drop. It's very hard to tell. Um, I think that there's still a lot of pessimism in the overall, you know, investing community, which is actually bullish, right? For stocks, that means people are playing very defensive, and there's a lot of risk taking that is still yet to be taken. They're risk they're still very risk averse. So, a lot of people are afraid. Usually an indication of a topping market is kind of a mania, especially in the investing community where everybody thinks everything is okay. Um, we got everything super strong, and the bears are getting converted to bulls, but we're not there right now. Very prominent investors are leading the investing community in thought that things are, about to hit the fan, and so they're expecting a downward move. So, I mean, right now, because of this run in January, I've decided to put some of the money I borrowed over here in December when I thought that I should be going aggressive. And I'll show you my chart personally and you'll see how that paid off. I went pretty aggressive here in December, and it's really paid off. And now I think it's time to deleverage. And so that's why I have a lot of the money in bonds, and I might actually pull the Robinhood gold margin, most of the money away, so I stop paying that $125 a month for it until I need it again. So this is the S&P 500. This is the high still in September. Now let me show you my portfolio, and so you can see what I'm talking about. So this is the all-time chart. Boom, a little bit different than the S&P. So you can see this huge run where I went super aggressive. I borrowed $30,000 from Robinhood to put to work, and these are the results. What I think, I think that the silver, anyways, is one thing that I've been benefiting from in this run. And if you go back quite a bit, I talked about silver quite a lot, and the reasons as to why it's gonna pop up. So you can go back and listen to those. I try to mark them with something to do with silver in the thumbnail, so you can listen to why I think silver is gonna be doing well. And I don't think this bull run is over yet. I think we have another leg in the silver, but I don't know about it getting all the way up to these levels here, that we had in 2016. I think I'd be happy if it reaches like halfway through. I'd be happy if we're at 17 and a half the year in SLV. That'd be good. I'll be good with that. I will have exited quite a bit, maybe even up to 50% of my silver positions from all of my accounts, not just this one. Obviously, all of the silver is going to be exited by then, probably on this account. But I have quite a bit of silver miners and stuff on other accounts, and I'm going to be, exiting at least half by the time it reaches 1750 here. My target personally is $18 for silver this year, this first half of the year, um, and we'll see if it hits it. So far, it's taking quite a while. I'm gonna give it until the end of March, and then probably gonna exit my silver positions altogether if there's no progress, because I've learned my lesson. I held not this specific scenario, but here too, I held for way too long after the lows in January 2016. I held all the way through June and July, and then I lost all my gains these huge gains that I've had on the run up. I've lost them. I only sold a little bit on the way up. I should have sold a lot more. So I'm trying to learn my lessons and actually do the right thing this time and sell more. So here's the bull run beginning. Um, it's this action here is very reminiscent of this action, December to January 2016 to September, December 2018. It's very reminiscent. So it's also followed by a little mini stock crash, and over here in 2018, of course, we had a bigger stock crash. So theoretically, silver should pop more, but it hasn't yet, and we'll see. It's been a little sluggish about it. We'll see if the fundamentals actually kick in and the supply constraints matter even more this time around. I might even wait until April, but if there's no price action in March, I'm not even gonna bother with April. So that's what I plan on doing about it. That's what I see coming. Apple here, I'm taking as a long-term play. I really don't want to sell, even though I anticipate like probably a market rollover at some point. But I'm not gonna sell it. I don't think. I may sell a call against it at some point, but I really don't want to part ways with the stock. It gives me $73 dividend, and I think it's gonna go a lot higher than this in the very long term. Although I'm not an Apple expert, I haven't done as much homework on the company as others, but the from what I've seen and what I've heard, it gives me enough confidence to stay in it. All right, well, um, I'm also waiting for uranium to do well. Chemical was up 1.41%, URA flat. Energy fuels a little bit down, and URG flat as well. I've already sold quite a bit of chemical, $12 here. I only have 100 shares left, and it seems like it's popping over 12, 15, 12, 20, $12 again, and I may have missed the train a little bit. Um, but I wish I had more stocks of chemical, but I don't want to buy them at this level right now. You can see the 1 year chart here is very, very favorable, and it looks like it may have. It's either, it looks like it's a ascending triangle here that it's forming, and so it's either going to shoot up or break down. And my bet is that it's going to break down and test these levels here, the 950 or so, and that's when I'll buy more. But I don't feel comfortable buying at this level right now. I think it's a little bit too rich for me anyway. But if it shoots up, it shoots up. I'm going to keep the shares. I'm not going to sell a call against them or anything like that. I really like the company, so there we go. So this is the 5 year chart. But the 1 year chart looks absolutely gorgeous. Look at this. Okay, that's the overview of the portfolio. This is what I plan on doing with my margin. You've heard what I plan on doing with silver and where I think we are in this bull cycle with silver, with my major holdings like Apple treasuries and with uranium, and how I plan to scale out of silver stocks in the next couple of months. Those are my plans. That's the portfolio. Um, I don't have anything else to update you on. This will be it. All right, guys. See y'all probably on Monday. Peace out.